Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of Built Not Given. My name's Jake Strickland. I'm going to be the host of it going forward. Might bring on some guests, who knows. We'll see where it leads. But the idea when I decided I was going to do this was I didn't want to do it. Actually, it was a coworker that was like, "Oh, you need to do it. You need to do it. I've learned stuff from you." And I'm like, I don't really believe it. But here we are. And basically, I'm going to be documenting the process of what it takes to really build something. I haven't built anything yet. I haven't done anything spectacular, but I'm going to, and it's going to happen. And this is just kind of part of that process. It's a way for me to build out some social proof. It's a way for me to share my ideas, share my opinions, and I've got them. I've got a ton of them, but hopefully it's something, and we'll go with it, and we'll see what happens. But where I'm at right now is I'm a 21-year-old realtor out of the Northeast Georgia area. I've a very small town, not a lot of people, so selling's a little bit difficult. Everybody knows somebody, and most of the time that somebody knows a realtor. So getting your name out there as a younger guy has definitely been one of the hardest parts of my business. And I'll say it to anybody that's wanting to get into real estate that it's going to be difficult. The first 6 months, well, in my first 6 months, I sold a house. I think I sold two my first 6 months. And then I didn't sell anything for 9. That sucked. And then this year, I had a great first half. A great first half of my year. I was at where I was at in 23. And then, well, I didn't change anything from 23. So the rest of my 24 looked like crap. And that just is what it is. There's a lesson learned. Now going forward in 26, a lot of things are going to be changing. But I said 24. It was 24 the previous year, so excuse me. But anyways, enough of that. I that's just kind of where I'm at right now. And going forward, I'm going to be a lot better. I'm going to do a lot better. I'm going to change the things. This is part of it. And I'm excited for y'all to join me on that. But basically what I'm going to be doing is sharing things throughout my week. I'm currently doing Ironman training. I'm doing Lake Placid in July of this year, July 20th, I believe. And I started training for that 6 months ago, but now I'm really getting into the big time training. Like I'm going to have like 5-hour days on the bike and mind-numbing stuff. That's what I'm doing, personal life, business life. Obviously, I'm doing real estate, and then I'm trying to get into a little bit of the investing field this year. Going to see how that goes. But yeah, so I've got a lot going on. Then I'm going to add the podcast to it, but that's kind of where I'm at, and I think it's going to be a good year. I think it's going to be a great year, and I'm excited to see where it leads. I'm excited to see what I learn about myself, and really, I'm just excited to grow. I love helping families sell real estate. I love helping people in general. Like I love that side of myself. And for the longest time, I hadn't really done anything like this because I was terrified. I'm still terrified. I'm sitting over here. I have no idea what to say, but we're going to do it anyway. And we're going to get into kind of like the core lessons. So weekly wins, weekly losses, and then I'm going to have a little bit of a motivation factor. And that's kind of what I think I want to do today. I'm going to set the tone. And that tone is nobody's coming to save you. Nobody. There's not a magic tool out there that's going to give you what you want. Your boss isn't going to come to your office tomorrow and say, "Oh, look at you. You're doing so good. You get a raise of 20 grand. 20 grand more in your pocket." That's not going to happen. Never in history, or maybe in history it's happened, but I've never seen it. And everything I've read doesn't say it. So there's more no's than yeses. But nobody's coming to save you. You have to decide what you want to do. And you have to do it. Everybody's got an it. I've got an it. This is my it. I had to do it. And nobody else was going to do it for me. I have to do it. I didn't go buy some course online from some 21, but some 21-year-old selling a course that's going to get you shit. It's going to get you nothing. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's just a big ordeal of how they can make more money. The idea of their courses is to sell a course. And that's not going to work. It's all fake. The only real thing is you and your actions and your day to day. It's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that's ever built anything long lasting. You look at, I'm going to use Andy Frisella as an example because I do listen to his podcast and I very much enjoy him. His whole thing is personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. And when I heard that, it changed a lot. I was like, you're right. Because when you change, other people change. When you lead an example, other people follow that example. If you're eating like shit and you don't work out and you say you're going to do all these different things but you never do them, those people look at you like, yeah, I might as well just stay where I'm at because obviously what he's doing isn't working. And is that really the example that you want to set for your friends, your family, your future family if you don't have one yet like me? No, it's not. I know that whenever I have kids, if I have kids, whenever I get a wife, whenever I get a family, I want them to know that I'm going to save me. They don't have to do it. I am responsible for me. I'm the one that has to make the hard decisions. I'm the one that has to go talk to my boss because I'm unhappy. I'm the one that has to read the books. I'm the one that has to learn things about me. Because if you don't know yourself, you can't know anybody else. But nobody's coming to save you. You have to be the one to do that. And I had this book, it's Extreme Ownership. Jocko Willink wrote it. And it, along with a situation I was in at the time that I read it, changed my perspective on everything. I was a junior. It was the summer of junior year in my high school. And I was looking around and I was playing baseball. I love baseball. I played it my entire life. But going into my senior year, I had to make up it was 9 credits. I had to make up 9 credits in a 7-period schedule. All 9 of those credits were full-time classes. Math doesn't add up there. The reason that happened was because I was in alternative school my 9th grade year due to some poor choices that I had made. And I like to blame that I had to make up 9 credits on the fact that the school didn't transfer them. When in reality, if I was never in alternative school, I never would have had that problem. All that to say, I had to make a tough decision going into my senior year, and that was homeschool. Quit baseball and homeschool my senior year. And that was probably one of the hardest decisions that I've ever had to make. But like I said, it was the best decision I ever made. It was when I took full responsibility for me, and I realized nobody's coming to save me. And when I started that senior year, I was terrified because I knew I didn't want to do construction my whole life, but that's what I was doing because I was homeschooling. I had to get a job. I had to do something. I couldn't just spend my parents' money, and they weren't going to allow me to spend my parents' money. But on the topic of the parents, them allowing me to make that decision was the best thing they ever did. I was a terrible kid growing up, but them allowing me to take responsibility of that decision was a great thing, especially my stepdad. It killed him, because he's trained. He has worked with me my whole life on baseball. I was going to go to college and play baseball. That was his dream. He was living that dream through me, and I know it killed him whenever I decided I wasn't going to play anymore. So I'm very thankful that he did. But when I get back on track, when I started doing construction, I knew that wasn't what I wanted to do, and I had to make a decision on what I was going to do. And that's when real estate fell out, and that's when real estate came up. Truthfully, I don't know what led me to it. I don't know if I saw something. I don't know if I read something. I don't know what it was. But real estate came up, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to do that. So I'm doing construction. I'm doing homeschool. First of the year rolls around. Boom. Buy the real estate course. Don't do it. Why? I have no idea. I just didn't do it. I waited and waited and waited and waited until 2 months before I graduated. Actually, I waited until I graduated because it was 2 months after that. Yeah, I graduated in May, started my course, and then I took my test in July. July 28th was the first day I got my license. So I finished my course in 2 months, got licensed, and that was just kind of the turning point for my life. I was looking around during that year of construction and homeschooling and realizing that, hey, I'm not where I want to be. Something's got to change. And I looked around. I was like, who's going to help me? And there was nobody there. And that was a very lonely feeling, because it was I was always a popular kid, but I distanced myself from a lot of people, and it was difficult because I had nobody. It was just me and the crew I work construction with. Loved them to death. But I realized that nobody else is coming to save me. I have to save me. And then boom, here we are. 3 years later, I'm here, and I'm still having to remind myself every single day that nobody's coming to save me. Because in this world, it is so easy to get caught up in comparison and hoping that things are going to be different. Hope gets you killed. If you feel like, whatever. No, you can't hope for anything. You have to act. So, my challenge to you is find what that thing is for you. Maybe it's a conversation with your boss. Maybe it's a conversation with one of your parents. Maybe it's a conversation with your spouse. Maybe it's a conversation with... Maybe it's just an action that you have to take. Maybe you need to get up tomorrow and go to the gym. It's January 1st, New Year's resolutions. I hate those, by the way. They've always failed. So it's not a resolution. It's a choice that you're making to go to the gym. Or it's a choice you're making to eat one planned meal a week. Start with one, then eat another, then eat another, then eat another. Sooner or later, every single meal you have is going to be healthy and planned. Because it's a habit. Because you built up that habit. And you don't feel good when you don't eat good. I know I don't. I remember whenever I was doing construction, I was eating Vienna sausages at lunch or whatever a Mexican restaurant served. And then for breakfast, I was drinking a Red Bull and then eating a pack of powdered donuts. How I survived, I don't know. It was awful. But I felt like shit. I felt awful. But with that being said, find out what your thing is. Find out what decision you have to make today that's going to change your life, that's going to change your future, that's going to point you in the right direction, that's going to point you to where you want to be. And if you don't know where you want to be, that's great. Who cares? I don't know what I want to be. I just know that I want to be better every day. And maybe that's the same for you. Maybe you have to figure out what it means to be better every single day. Maybe that's, for me, my example, it's maybe I have to carry my laundry another 5 feet or put it directly into the washing machine. Maybe that would change it for me. It is going to change it for me. Now that I'll talk about it, I'm going to do that. I'm going to write that down real quick. So that's my thing. Now y'all find your thing. What is your thing? What's going to change your life? What's going to send you in the right direction? Find that thing. And I'll cut this off because I'm probably talking too long now. But going forward, these are going to come out every week on Friday, Saturday, one of the two. And some are going to be short, some are going to be really long, some are going to be in between of like halfway. I can't talk for too long because then I get tired of hearing myself. But I hope this can bring some value to your life. Maybe it's just a quick little motivation thing. Maybe it's oh wait, he's building, I can build too. That's my hope. That's my hope for you, that you see that I am building and that you can say, if he can do it, I can do it. Because I'm a small town guy. If I can do it, you can do it. But with that being said, I will see y'all next Friday. Almost forgot, but there's going to be a link in the bio of this one and in the description, and it's going to give you access to all of my social media. It's also going to have a place where you can submit like questions, feedback, anything like that. I'll personally be responding to all of them. So please, and if you would, it'd be great. Share it with somebody that you think could benefit, somebody that needs to hear it. And I think that it's going to be good. I'm excited, but yeah.